was my junior year of high school. I was the new student at a school in Pennsylvania. New school, new town, no friends. The hardest part was lunch. Everyone already had their friend groups. Every table was full, and I didn't want to force myself into someone else's circle. I walked into the cafeteria holding my tray, looking for somewhere to sit. Every table was taken, except one. A table in the corner. Only 2 kids sitting there. The least intimidating option. So I walked over and asked if I could sit. The 2 of them looked at each other. Then one smiled. Yeah, I sat down. That's when I realized they were identical twins. Antonio and Bruno. They seemed normal enough. Friendly. Easy to talk to. They even invited me to hang out after school. Since I was new, I figured why not? I gave them my number. That evening, Bruno texted me. He said he and Antonio were hanging out. Asked if I wanted to meet them. At 9 p.m., near the cemetery. A small road next to it. He said there was a cool spot by a lake in the woods. Since it was Friday, and I had nothing else to do, I agreed. At noon, I started walking there. The whole time, something about it felt wrong. I kept thinking, I'm the new kid, and I'm walking into the woods at night to meet 2 people I met this morning. When I reached the road by the cemetery, they weren't there. So I texted Bruno. He replied instantly, said they were already in the woods, by the lake, then sent his location. I followed it, pushing through branches, using my phone flashlight, calling out their names. Then I heard footsteps behind me, slow, heavy, approaching. I stopped. The footsteps stopped too. I called out, "Don't tell me you're trying to scare me." No answer, just silence. I turned around, started walking back toward the road. Then the footsteps changed, from slow to fast. Running, before I could react, someone grabbed me from behind. Fingers dug into my neck, cutting off my breath. I heard a voice shout, "Grab him! Grab him!" It was Bruno. I twisted free, barely, and ran. Straight through the trees, branches hitting my face, heart pounding. I could hear them chasing me until I reached the road. Then they stopped, at the tree line, watching. I ran all the way home, told my parents everything. The next day, we took photos of the marks on my neck, showed the texts, reported them to the school. Antonio and Bruno were expelled. My parents made me block both numbers. I did, without arguing. A week later, I woke up freezing. The room felt wrong, cold, silent. Then I heard it. Wind. My bedroom window was open, all the way. I stared at it. No reason it should be open. No reason anyone would open it. Outside my window, there was a ledge, a small roof extension, big enough for someone to stand on. I shut the window, walked to my parents' room, knocked softly, asked my mom if she opened it. She sat up immediately. No, her voice changed. She shook my dad awake, but he just groaned, told me to stop overreacting. I walked back to my room. Then I noticed something. My door. When I left, it had been fully open. Now, it was halfway closed. I stopped, slowly pushed it open, just enough to look through the gap. Someone was standing behind the door, waiting. I screamed, as loud as I could. The door slammed shut. My dad came running. I shouted, "There's someone in my room!" He kicked the door open, turned on the light, and we both saw it. Oleg, vanishing out my window. My dad ran outside, tried chasing whoever it was, but he came back minutes later, out of breath. Nothing. Gone. I knew who it was. It had to be them. The twins. Police came, took statements, but without proof. They said there was nothing they could do. Just lock the doors. Install cameras. Nothing ever happened again. But even now, I still think about that first day. In the cafeteria, something about them looked wrong. And somehow, I knew it. I just ignored it.
It was freshman year. Lance and Lindsay. Last period. Gym class. And that day, we had a substitute teacher. He was older, maybe around 60, gray hair, quiet. But when he called attendance and got to my name, he looked at me twice, like he was studying me. It made me uncomfortable. After class ended, everyone went to the locker room to change. I went to my locker, and for some reason, it wouldn't open. I tried the combination again, and again, nothing. So I went to the substitute, asked him if he could check the locker combination list. He said, "Give me a minute." A few minutes later, he came back holding a book, open to one page. He followed me into the girls' locker room. I wasn't expecting that. Most people had already left. Only one girl remained. Finishing up, he tried the combination. Nothing. Again. Nothing. Every time it failed, he looked at me and laughed. I laughed too, only because I didn't know what else to do. Then he put his hand on my shoulder, said, "We'll figure it out." His hand stayed there while he tried again, and slowly his hand moved from my shoulder to my lower back. I stepped away immediately, grabbed my bag, told him, "It's okay. I'm late for my bus." He tried one last time. The locker opened instantly. He smiled and walked away. I waited until I heard the locker room door close, then changed as fast as I could. That's when the lights went out. Everything. Pitch black. I pulled my clothes on, grabbed my backpack, started toward the back exit, the one leading outside. As I reached the end of the lockers, I looked right, just to make sure no one was there. A small window near the ceiling let in enough light, enough to see him, standing there, peeking around the lockers, watching me. I ran, straight for the exit. He started following, saying, "Wait, wait, wait. It's not what it looks like." I didn't stop, ran into the rain, and walked home, soaked, shaking. That night, I realized something. He probably changed my locker combination himself, just to keep me there, alone. And when he turned off the lights, I never wanted to think about what he planned next. I was in the school band during high school, mostly because it was the easiest class to pass. Near the end of one semester, my grade dropped to a B. So my band teacher told me I could make up one of my missing lessons during lunch. He said I could practice downstairs in one of the storage rooms beneath the music hall. I remember not wanting to go down there. That basement always felt wrong. The lights barely worked. Nobody ever went down there except teachers. But I wanted the grade. So the next day, during lunch, I grabbed my saxophone and headed downstairs. The basement hallway was lined with small storage rooms. Inside them were old instruments, chairs, Christmas decorations, random junk. I picked one room near the end of the hall, closed the door, set up my music stand, then sat there scrolling on my phone instead of practicing. A few minutes later, everything went black. The lights shut off instantly. Complete darkness. At first I thought the power went out in the whole school, so I reached for the light switch. Nothing. I opened the door slowly. The hallway outside was pitch black too. The only light came from my phone screen, barely enough to see. Then I heard it, something dragging across the floor. Heavy, slow, metal scraping against concrete. The sound was coming from one of the rooms farther down the hallway. Then came breathing, fast, animal-like breathing. I lifted my phone slightly and saw a large plastic container slowly sliding out into the hallway by itself. I immediately turned my phone screen off. My heart started pounding. I backed into my room and quietly shut the door. At that point, I didn't even know what I was hiding from. I just knew something was down there with me. And the worst part, the stairs were blocked by whatever was moving in the hallway. I sat in complete darkness for what felt like forever, waiting for the lights to come back on. They never did. Eventually, I decided I had to make a run for the stairs. So I opened the door again, Very slowly, I started creeping down the hallway when suddenly I heard movement again, closer this time. I panicked and slipped into another nearby storage room, closed the door behind me, and waited. No footsteps, no breathing, nothing. But then, I got this horrible feeling, like someone else was already inside the room with me. You know that feeling when you can sense another person nearby, even without seeing them? That feeling. My hands were shaking. I slowly pressed the home button on my phone, just long enough for the screen to light up. And standing in the corner of the room, 3 feet away from me, was a man. Tall, completely still, just staring at me from the darkness. I froze, pretended I didn't see him. Then I heard him laugh quietly. A second later, something touched my shoulder. 2 slow pats. Then fingers squeezing tighter. I lunged for the doorknob. The man immediately tried shoving the door closed, but I forced it open and ran. I sprinted up the stairs and burst back into the music hall upstairs, where all the lights were somehow still on. Security searched the basement afterward, but they never found anyone down there. Only moved equipment, open storage rooms, and muddy footprints leading into the darkness.